Alright, so we're back at it again, tearing 6 liter apart. I've got almost all of the pistons pulled out. I'm going to put the last one out. Got the last one. Put it over here with the rest of them. So I took the oil pan off, took the valve covers off, got the heads off, the pistons out. The bearing wear is excellent. I think it has 260,000 miles. There's no wear on the bearings. Looks like they're in very good shape. I'm going to still take still have the crank cleaned, the block cleaned. Fixing to pull the timing chain off now, pull the cam out. See what the cam bearings look like there. The cam bearings are known for looking bad. So we're going to see what mine look like. So there's the timing chain. It had a little play in it. So I guess they all do. Pull this cover off. This cover needs to be replaced anytime you take it off. It has an impregnated seal in it, and they're always flat. Two of your main oil galleys, if you don't replace this, the oil will leak past it and you'll have low oil pressure. Pulling the cam out, it's going to be easy when you pull it out. Not to damage the bearings, which is going to be okay on this one because I put new cam bearings in it, even if it looks good, because I'm going to send it to the machine shop and have it cleaned. And there's the cam. No major wear for as many miles. I'll get the flashlight and clean that bearing off and look at the front cam bearing. Well, this bearing has got some pitting on it. Well, it's actually not pitting, it's wear from the cam because the cam lays down on it. If you could get to the next bearing through this hole, you can see full copper or brass on that one. I believe it's copper. It's fully all the way around. So it needs bearings. To do the rest of those by hand, you have to pull that plate off and then roll it over. We'll take the other dowel pin out, roll it over, take all of the plugs out of it, take the back cover off, and then I'll start taking the crank out. Take them loose. Now I gotta go get a wrench. Take those loose. So this is the way I change rear main seals. Put a whole new cover. Comes with a new gasket on the back. New rear main seal installed. I never put just a rear main seal in, I always put the cover in the gasket. They're notorious for leaking on this gasket here also. Camshaft sensor on all the earlier LS's. I've worked on several. This is the one thing that I've never really had to replace, was the cam sensor. They're pretty well bulletproof from the factory. Had to do a couple crankshaft sensors, which is on the other side, I'll show you in a minute. But these are normally good. I never really have a problem with them. Then the side of the block. It's a little shorter. And like I say, I've replaced these before, but not these. So the crankshaft sensor down here reads the crank, and then the camshaft sensor here, straight through, reads the cam. So this is the oil pressure sensor. Takes a special socket. I don't have it with me. Before I take it to the machine shop, I'll take it out. I'm taking it to work with me tomorrow to take it to the machine shop, but I'll have to use a special socket for that.
Go ahead.
All right, so the main caps are numbered, so you don't get them wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. So the back main cap, you see the faces forwards. This one, main cap faces backwards, and all the rest of them face backwards. So you don't get them backwards when you got to put them in. So the motor is a 6-bolt main. 4 on the bottom, 2 on the sides. 2 on the sides are not, they're not super strong, but it is a 4-bolt with 2 bolts, so they call it a 6-bolt main. The crank looks pretty good. I think it's just going to need a polish, and we'll be good there. I'm going to look at the mains when I take them off. Like I say, they're nothing spectacular. I'm taking the caps loose. Sometimes they're a little stuck. The main bearings, they don't look bad at all. So I'm just going to set these to the side because I'm going to put them back on. See, the main bearing looks good on number 4 also. So number 3 is going to be the thrust bearing. I'll show you the difference in a minute as soon as I get it loose. A little hard to get out. So I got this one loose. So this is what I was talking about. How the bearing has the bearing surface, and then it has the bearing surface here. This is for the crank walking back and forth. So this is the thrust. So when you give it gas, pushes against that, that's these bearings that get the wear. And they all look great. It's got a little bit of wear on it, but not bad at all. Alright, so this is the important part. I'm going to take the crankshaft out and I'll set it on the bench, and then I'll wrap it up so I can take it to the machine shop and have them clean it. Polish it all up. That way when I get it back, the block will be clean. The crankshaft will be ready to be put back together. I think I have to pull that off. But I'll show you the other set of bearings also. The upper set of bearings. This is your reluctor wheel. This is what the crankshaft sensor run that reads to know where top dead center is, you know, where number 1 cylinder and all that is, and to know when to fire. This is a 24X. They make a 50X or 58X. I'm sorry about that. 24X. This is a 24.
Okay.
This is the other set of bearings in here. There, you put them in, lube them, take the crank, set it in, lube it, put the new bearings in the caps, and then put it back together, which we'll be doing at a later date. I'm going to pop all these out because they're all getting replaced, even though they look good. The holes in the bearings, they line up with the holes here. So the oil is pushed through the crank into the bearings, pushed through this here. It's pushed through all the oil galleys. I believe that's a coolant. This is a coolant, an oil galley. It leads right back to where the oil filter, the oil pan goes here, and then the oil filter goes there. This one will go up and feed all of the stuff up top and feed your oil pressure sensor. There's oil galleys all through this, so all these bearings get oil. So you know when you oil pressure, that's how much oil pressure is running through the galleys to keep it lubricated. So oil is a lubricant, and it actually cools the engine. So I've only got a couple plugs here, 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 and the oil pressure sending unit, and the little diverter back here, which you can't get out right now. And then I can take it to the machine shop.
Okay.
So when I get it back from the machine shop, the cylinders are going to be 30 thousandths over. Hopefully the crank will still be standard. I don't think they're going to turn it. I'm just going to have them polish it. So it should take standard bearings, I hope. I'm going to put flat tops in it. It had dished pistons because it was an LQ4. I'm going to put flat tops in it so it'll be like the LQ9. I'll put the main caps back on so if they have to line board, and when they hot tank it, it'll all be cleaned. I just took the crank and the bearings out. Like I said, they'll take the cam bearings out before they hot tank it. I think they're going to hot tank it and then board, but I'm not sure how. I don't know what their process is. In your area, what does it cost to have a whole cylinder hole bored out? In my area, it's $55 a hole. But the machine shop that I use, they're very, very good. So I don't know the average price out of doing that, but in my area it's $55.